All right, here we go. Another episode of Everything's Everything, the most diverse podcast you'll find on YouTube. We talk about sports, we talk about current events, we talk about music from a passionate mind space, and here to give y'all engaging and good content. Once again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. We appreciate everybody who, interacts with the video and, shares with family or friends. It's all love, and we can't express our gratitude for it. This is episode 3. I'm your host, Stephon.
It's your boy, Jiggy.
And we're here to bring you another week of good conversation. And it's been a very, very interesting week. A lot of stories broke this week, and not just sports. If you don't know, this week we got college football back. At the time of this recording, we got NFL football back. And I just want to give a shout out to the Florida State Seminoles for beating Alabama. You gotta clap real quick. I just want to give the people a quick backstory of the last 2 years. 2 years ago, Florida State went undefeated, and unfortunately, we had a lot of injuries towards the end of the year, and we weren't picked for the last 14 to make the college football playoffs. I personally didn't like how we kind of responded to that. A lot of players hit the transfer portal. Rightfully so, players were declaring for the draft, and we got smashed by Georgia that year, right? The following year, we were horrible. Absolutely garbage. I think we won 2 games, and I stopped watching to preserve my mental health because the stress was just way too high, bro. And it made me think, I have bad luck with Hawaiian quarterbacks.
No.
I can't make this up. Tua's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I prayed to God he stays healthy this year. Please establish a run game. May the linemen protect him. You know what I'm saying? In the name of Jesus. Keep Tua upright. I can't even pronounce the Florida State quarterback last year's name. He don't deserve to have his name remembered. Personally, I want to forget that year. He was just awful. This year, we came back. We beat number 8 Alabama in Tallahassee. Clap it up again one more time. All right. Now, it's one game.
Yeah.
But it was a statement game. And listen.
Wait, hold on. But you say this about, you say it like Alabama's not a dominating team, like they're not going to be able to, like this is the end all. Like, so you telling me, so if they were to play again, do you have the same clap it up again for them if they played again? Let me hear about that.
Listen. I can't speak to Alabama.
Okay.
And shout out to Alabama. Not naturally they're a household name in college football, but Nick Saban ain't there no more.
Yeah.
It's a new day, nigga. All right, and they can still be good. They can still be a great football team. Like, yeah. I'm not trying to say Alabama's gonna lose every game from here out, but I'm just talking about from an unranked coming in as an underdog. Like the betting was like plus 300 for them to win.
Yeah, and
we showed out.
Yeah,
we had a dominant win. I say all that to say this, fans. Y'all like my annoying little brother. All right? I'm not going to do to y'all what y'all did to me last year, boy. They treated me bad last year, dog.
It's coming for you?
Orange wearing, green wearing, Kane fan was at my neck. Ha, 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 you guys suck.
What's your problem with the U?
The U is great, bro. The U is, like I said, bro, it's a friendly rivalry. But sometimes, like, little brother be looking at big brother like, yeah, see, you're not perfect. You mess up too. Y'all thought y'all was hot shit 2 years ago, and we struggled. Now it's our turn. And, y'all had some their season ended surprisingly similar to ours,
Yeah.
Cam Ward didn't play like half a game. He was getting ready for the draft, So, I just said all that to say, like, I'm going to be the bigger person and handle fans with grace and love. Because, like I said, that's like little bro. You know what I'm saying? FSU, yeah. Big bro. UM's little bro. And sometimes little bro be feeling like, hey, man, But they won too. They beat Notre Dame. Shout out, hey, we can clap it up for UM. They beat Notre Dame. Great win. I believe we play October 6th. I want y'all to be undefeated come October 6th. Clash of the Titans.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say that as far as college football is concerned, I can spend too much time on that. Dolphins play at Colts this Sunday. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely.
A lot of people like to say Dolphins fans do this every year. Every year is our year. But you know what, bro? If you're going to be miserable, you got to enjoy the beginning when there's hope. If this turns out to be a disappointing season, I'm just going to enjoy the hopeful part of the season. Where everybody's 0-0, except for the Eagles. They won.
I agree with you, bro. But listen, I'm going to tell you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan. I'm a Ravens fan. Right,
okay.
Bro? So I'm a Ravens fan, but I'm a Ravens fan ever since Ray Lewis. So I'm a big Ray Lewis fan.
Okay.
It's and you know what's so interesting about this, bro, and football coming back this weekend. There was this little controversy with Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp.
Oh.
Right, and you know, and you feel me on it. It was a little bit confrontation. What did they say? It seemed like Ray Lewis was commenting on what
Shannon Sharp
was going through. Yeah, correct. And they felt like he should have had his back a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going, you know, and I looked at that situation. I was just like, but that's Ray Lewis' job now. You know what I mean? And I look at it like, you know what I mean? He may not comment it, but he's going to be asked that question.
Right.
And depending on where he's at and if he's asked that question, he's probably going to answer it. You know what I'm saying? He's probably not doing it for likes. Probably doing it more just to talk about it, probably send a message. But I know people didn't like that. They felt that he should have been a little bit more, supportive and Shannon Sharp's situation. But tell me what you think about it, bro.
It's so interesting, man, between those two. There's a history there.
Yeah.
They were former teammates at one point, you know. I remember when Shannon first started working at FS1, he was doing Undisputed with Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis was a pretty frequent guest on the show, and there was a bond there. I don't know their personal business. We're not here to talk about their personal business, just the optics of what we've seen transpire this week between the two. But like somewhere along the lines, maybe there was a bit of a rift, and they might have just drifted apart.
Yeah.
We didn't hear nothing messy. I mean, both these gentlemen are, you know, older, in their, maybe mid-50s or so. So I don't expect them to get on the camera like Soulja Boy and start yelling at each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Shannon had a tough... It's been about a year.
Yeah.
Because this, like, his controversy started, late 2024, bled into this year. He finally kind of got it resolved. If y'all don't know, Shannon Sharp is no longer an ESPN employee.
Yeah.
I think he lost a few sponsors, even on his Club Shay Shay podcast, which was unfortunate. And it, you know, the controversy painted Shannon Sharp not in the best light. I think he even lost a little bit of that, a little bit of credibility, a little bit of cool points from the black community because of some of the race play things that got leaked, and, you know, some of the racial undertones that came from that situation. It, you know, it didn't paint him in a good light. And part of Shannon Sharp's ascension was, like, you know, during COVID, when unfortunately we all witnessed the tragic murder of George Floyd, is that he was so vocal in speaking up for us in those moments. And I remember those clips not just going viral, but like watching those clips live and be like, man, Shannon Sharp's really doing a great job of speaking and being a voice for black people to America, to help them understand how we feel, why we feel, like all those things. So you kind of, he's just tainted. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
And Ray Lewis on a podcast was just talking about how, you know, certain content that Shannon Sharp started to make, he wasn't with that. He didn't want to go that route. And I personally don't think it was anything like vicious necessarily.
Yeah.
But I think from Shannon, like hearing Shannon address it on his nightcap show with Ocho, you heard a hurt in his voice. And, you know, like you said, it's, you know, piling on Shannon's season, like, you know, kind of kick you when you're down type of feeling. And it's tough, bro. I wish the best for both of them. I applaud Shannon for just, like, handling that so maturely. A lot of people could have came on here and made a big hoopla about it, you know, start being messy. That's the thing nowadays. People love the mess and start emptying out. Well, you did this. How dare you point this at me? Shannon Sharp really took a high road on this topic.
Yeah, he definitely did, bro. But Ray Lewis' situation was a little bit different compared. Like Ray Lewis' situation, he caught a body.
Mm-hmm.
He was on trial for that. Shannon Sharp's situation is a little bit has to do with him dealing with a female.
Right.
So in my mind, I look at it as two different situations or whatever the case is. I'm pretty sure somebody would be more liable. You honestly, me personally, I wouldn't want to speak on any situation.
Right.
But people are gonna probably have a little bit more. Like, oh, you let that happen. Like, how could you let that happen with the girl? Like,
Right.
you could have really avoided that compared to Ray Lewis' situation. People probably look at it more like, oh, I don't know what situation he was involved in, but that's probably more crazy, But
Right.
honestly, I really can't wait to see them sit down and talk.
Right.
Right? If Shay Shay, had a little thing where they sat down, talked, they had their little drink, and they actually sat down and talked and stuff, I would love to see that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just, it'd be like Kobe when Kobe and Shaq talked a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And they came to the conclusion of certain things, and you've seen it like a great ending to it. So I would definitely like to see that happen.
No, that's a great parallel. I mean, Kobe and Shaq's history is well documented, and they say communication heals a nation and time heals all wounds, right?
All right.
So I think in due time, I think those gentlemen will definitely have a sit down and kind of get together, because they don't feel like it's like anything that can't be resolved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you, like, you're Shannon Sharp. How do you personally handle that situation?
I mean, honestly, bro, I'll roll with the punches. You know what I mean? Honestly, I feel like, if you're going through something, you're expecting support in a situation when you're going through bad things, that's the worst thing you can do.
Right.
You need to expect the worst, but be more accepting to your reality of the situation to get through those things. So him dealing with, saying Real Lewis is saying something towards the situation, he's going to, yes, people are going to say stuff, and yes, it may not be the most best thing, but you got to keep forward, kind of block that out. But what's so funny about that, bro? Like, I feel like right now, with everything going on, there's been a lot of things going on where people are just like saying stuff about people.
I'm glad you said that.
And things of that nature. And it's like, it's not just Shannon Sharp or Ray Lewis, their thing that's going on, but it's also, a whole different world where people are just like
saying things.
Yeah,
like Lupe Fiasco. Just saying things. just saying, niggas just be saying anything. Like, niggas just get on microphones, get in and just start spewing shit.
Wait, hold on. We're not gonna have Lupe hated here, man. I like Lupe. What's going
too.
on? What Lupe do?
I do too. All right. Disclaimer: I bought food and liquor when I was in high school. I bought the cool when I was in high school. I loved Drago's Wave. Lasers wasn't so much my jam, but Lupe Fiasco is a great hip hop artist. But he's a hater, and he's a hater of Kendrick Lamar, and he's been shading this nigga for no reason for I don't even know how long. For a few years now. For a few years. So if y'all don't know Lupe Fiasco, to sum it up, said King Los. You know who King Los is?
Yeah.
Okay. He said King Los and Logic are better rappers than Kendrick Lamar.
I mean, bro, you have to understand. Do I agree with that? No, right? But that's because, that type of thing is subjective, right? Everybody's opinion on that situation is based off of how they like to hear music. Okay. So if he feels like Logic and whoever else you said King Los is better, that's based off of what he likes to hear.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And you go ask him that question based off of what he likes to hear. He probably likes to listen to them and listen to the way those lyrics are compared to listening to Kendrick Lamar. Does that say that they're better artists overall than Kendrick? Subjective too. It's just his opinion. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I definitely would say, personally, me, for instance, I like Lupe, right?
Right.
I'm not listening to Logic.
Never.
You get what I'm saying?
Never. I couldn't get over I got the slave of the blood of the slave and the master. I'm not, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That's agree. A plight I have no clue about, bro. I can't get with them raps, my G.
I agree. Even with song you had Joy Carlos song, I don't like like no whips and chains. I was listening to that. I was just like, you didn't have to say that, bro.
Hey, bro.
You didn't have to say that, bro.
You ever hear what South Park did when you don't have to die no more? Yeah. You don't have to die.
Hey,
you ever had
like,
to remix that, bro? Like, hey.
Why did you say that?
Hey, great for suicide prevention. You know, I understand the message behind that, but I mean, it's like logic. All right. Here's the thing, right? I mean, in the clip that I saw, it didn't sound like they were asking, like a personal "what do you prefer" type of question. They're more so asking like, "Hey, here's rapper A, here's rapper B. Who's better?" You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was a preference talk, and he said, "I like King," I don't care what you like. Okay, you can like King Los, you can like Logic better. I'm not mad at that. Lupe, as being one of the most lyrical rappers we've seen in the past 20 years, to say King Los, I'm not even all the way mad at, because if you know anything about King Los, he's a lyrical miracle rapper too, and he's been in Bad Boys writing camp for years now, right? Great rapper. Not even mad at that. Logic, my nigga.
Okay, but do you understand why he said that compared to it being like you feeling like, okay, there's no way that he's better? Do you understand why he said it? Because I feel like King Los and Logic fit more of his style compared to Kendrick Lamar.
That might be true.
I'm very understanding to why he may have said that.
That might be true.
You know,
but here's
and
the thing.
less of agreeing with what he said because that's his opinion, but more understanding to the fact that, hey, listen, you know, okay, that's more fitting.
I can understand. I can't understand a lot. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna keep it.
No, you don't want to understand.
No. Listen, because this is certain things, bro. This is certain things in life, dog. That I feel like there's an objective truth, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can't tell me as an MC you don't heard Kendrick give you all different types of freestyles, from like the Lookout for Detox freestyle to that the freestyle he did on Flex joint, to then just looking at his discography and his albums and tell me like, yeah, I think there's no body of work objectively that you can point to Logic and be like, Logic really out rap Kendrick. That don't exist. Like, I get the preference. Like, if we're just having a preference conversation, I get it. But here's the thing. This is not like an isolated incident. Lupe also last year was on Twitter Spaces talking about, yeah, Drake went into beef. Bro, what? So if this was an isolated incident, I can kind of like agree a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. It sounds a little bit more like Lupe to me. It sounds like a little bit more where Lupe is less on the side of, how can I say it, like the industry. So for instance, if you say Lupe is one of the best rappers, but he wasn't one of the best rappers to have like one of the best selling albums and sell as much.
But he sold a lot
compared to his peers that were on the top, like Lil Wayne at the time.
Oh yeah, no one was messing with Lil Wayne.
But that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So for instance, I'm pretty sure Lupe felt like he was probably better than Lil Wayne. And probably the music that he was putting out was probably better than Lil Wayne.
Definitely more substance.
At the time, he wasn't selling more than Lil Wayne.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
No.
But at the time, if you were to go ask somebody, oh, who's better, Lil Wayne or Lupe, they wouldn't even say, I would say Lupe. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't say Lupe.
But you got to understand, like, there's certain conversations you can't have it like mainstream or casual listeners. You know what I'm saying? Like, music, like you're saying, it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
But like for you and me who kind of like delve a little bit deeper into the art, like I'm not expecting the day-to-day casual listener, especially like we're talking about, like Fruit and Liquor came out in 2005, and like I think The Cool was like 2008 or 2007.
Oh, that's my...
No, listen, The Cool is to me just one of the, if I had to make like a top 20 list, The Cool's in there.
Let me tell you this, bro. Because I know we talk about Lupe being a hater, but I ain't gonna lie. The Cool album sort of kind of like changed my life a little bit.
No, it changed my, bro.
And
Food and Liquor too.
And it's not even for the songs that you think. There's one specific song on there that I swear when I was younger I heard it. I read a book to even give me more.
Was it Little Weapon?
It was Little Weapon.
You look like a Little Weapon ass nigga.
Bro. So, bro, let me tell you about this story, right? So, it's my senior year in high school. So we went downtown, and they had this speaker, and he was from a little town in I forgot which country in Africa he was from, but he was from. They were actually in war,
Right.
right? And he used to do. He used to take. He told us he was sitting up. He was like, "Listen, I used to have to take a lot of drugs just to mentally get me through having to kill people and do these things of this nature that I wasn't even prepared for mentally." So he couldn't wait to escape to America in order to just live a regular life.
Right.
He made that little weapon song, and it really changed my life because I really started to understand things from a different perspective and be able to accept what I'm going through. Even though I'm from New York, so I didn't have a lot at all. But listening to Lil Weapon made me like more appreciative
Of what you did have.
of what I did have,
Right.
and that's the reason why I say that album changed my life. So when I hear somebody like Lupe give a perspective of him saying, "Hey, Logic, and these people better," do I agree? Heck no. But I would definitely take a listen to his perspective, and if he had a deeper perspective like about it and how he thought about it, I would definitely want to listen more.
Yeah, listen, if he does give a deep dive, I just feel like, why I say Lupe is being a hater is because you remember that old Kobe commercial with Kanye West and a bunch of celebrities, and it was like the whole Kobe system, and Kanye was like, "What the f does that mean, Kobe?" And he's like, "Same animal, different beast." That's what Lupe and Kendrick are to me. I mean, when you can compare an album like Food and Liquor and then go listen to an album like To Pimp a Butterfly and get a lot of the similar feedback on how so? What's different about them?
So based on and just saying like how I feel like just personally to me, right? I feel like Kendrick Lamar is he's like Basquiat with the rapping,
right?
As far as in being able to show that art in his music, you know what I mean, and make you really understand from a black perspective as a young kid growing up the thoughts and how you may feel. He really brings it out and lets you hear it. You get what I'm saying? I feel like Lupe comes from more of a broader perspective of a black person, as far as like I'm saying Little Weapons and being able to more be in touch with somebody from a country in Africa that I don't even know. He brought me more in touch to somebody's situation there. So I feel like they're different when it comes to their art.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like they're I don't feel like they're even the same beast. I feel like they come from two totally different angles where Kendrick is gonna help that kid coming from the hood get out the hood and being able to prosper and stuff like that and be able to maintain the mental that he's going through. I feel like Lupe specifically is gonna help any kid dealing with any situation that they may be going through because I feel like who he's trying to touch is a little bit more broader because of how he raps and his lyricism compared to like, so for instance, like you have Kendrick's art, which is like prestige art, like where it has a little bit of everything, and then you have Lupe's art, which is a little bit more. And I'm not saying that Kendrick's not intellectual. It's a little bit more. You have to really do your research to understand.
Yeah, no.
Lupe. So that's why I feel like they're not the same beast.
Yeah, no.
Lupe. I feel like if Kendrick can graduate, to me, I feel like Kendrick has room to grow. If he ever got to this perspective of Lupe's, there would be nobody would even be able to contend.
I personally, I feel like he has, and like why I brought up To Pimp a Butterfly and The Cool is because The Cool was a depiction on what we as black people deem as cool. And especially if you go off Food and Liquor was a depiction on the things that's like what's good and what's bad for black people in a way. The good and the bad. To your point about Lupe, his rhyme schemes and his metaphors are a lot more layered. It's not like Kendrick is a lot more direct. Like
correct.
Like a song like Daydreaming, which is about like gentrification through the point of a robot. You know what I'm saying? It's some genius level rap dude stuff, right? But then there's also songs like He Said, She Said, which is about the dynamic of the mother, the single mother, pleading for the father to step up, and then from the child, the boy, pleading for the father to step up. Now let's fast forward to The Cool. You go listen to the song The Cool. That's that's based off the album title, and he makes a reference. I believe it's the third verse about his and her about the child who, you know, couldn't overcome that and end up having anger problems in class and all those things. And Lupe, throughout that whole album, is talking about what we deem as cool. Look at Dumb It Down. Dumb It Down was just about, you know, what we're seeing in music. And we're gonna use this to transition in this a view, but what we see in music is saying dumb it down. Hey, you know, pour champagne on this chick, you know, put a bunch of big rims, have a bunch of big chains, you know, and the guys are saying, hey, yo, Lupe, dumb it down. Like all that rapping and stuff like that is too smart. It's too, like, it's anti-intellectual. You go to the, you know, an album like To Pimp a Butterfly. Once again, I'm not saying they're the exact same thing, but you're gonna draw from a similar experience, you know what I'm saying? Because they're both making music. Like I always said, there's music that black people like, and then there's music that's for black people. They both make music for black people. And a song like The Black of the Berry with Kendrick, he's doing a deep dive onto all the things that black men face that like that are portrayed as hate towards black men, whether it be like white supremacy, then it's you know, self-hatred, and then it's like gang hatred, and it's like, you know, he's calling himself a hypocrite because it's like, how can we have all this outrage for like police brutality, but we're killing ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Very similar thing to what Lupe speaks about in The Cool. And you got to remember, like, even in Little Weapon, the precursor to that is all the violence that occurs in other cities, where there's the inner city, where there's this kid that you know, does a school shooting, and then he brings it back to a story in Africa showing how much elevated the violence is there. So what I'm saying is, between the two, their fabric is so much more alike than it is different. And the only reason why I say Lupe is a hater is that sometimes it comes off as jealousy, because I think Lupe genuinely does look at Kendrick and say, like, why is that not me? Like, Kendrick has that verse in the Future remix where you say, like, how you make a conscious nigga go platinum while only making conscious albums? And being that big of a superstar while only making conscious music is absolutely insane, because usually that's a niche audience. Usually that's a niche demand, but Kendrick's a megastar.
Bro, you can't tell me. Okay, so Little Weapon, bro, there was 3 different verses on there, right? And I think somebody else was on that song too.
The hook.
Yeah, the hook. And if those 3 different things collided together with the same thing, everybody going through the same thing, and the same basis. One was playing a video game, one shoot up the school, and then the other one was in Africa. It was all dealing with the fact they all going through the same, may have different, you know, things they're going through, but they all may be dealing with the same mental and perspective of feeling that way. And it doesn't have to be a black person in Lupe's situation. It can be any kid. And I feel like if we live in a world today where identifying yourself is a big question, right? And this is where I really feel like, you know, they defer, and this is why I stand on my point, is because if you hear in his song, if you have a trouble identifying yourself, if you have trouble identifying yourself being black or whatever you have trouble identifying yourself as, you can just look at yourself as a human when you listen to Lupe's music, because the problems that's going on in your house, maybe he makes you realize maybe going on in somebody else's house, compared to Kendrick, who dives deeper into the black experience.
Definitely.
And he gives us more of a broader perspective on the black experience, which makes me understand and makes me appreciate being black and what we go through as black people. And it's a beautiful, beautiful art piece, just beautiful things that he does to display that. But that's why I think they're different. Okay. And I feel like their mental is different. So Lupe, to me, and going back to the point you saying him being a hater, to me personally, Lupe can never hate, to me, really, even if you say they better on Kendrick, just for the simple fact that it is 2 different perspectives, personally to me. You have one that strives on the black perspective, and you have one that strives on the perspective. And it's 2 totally different worlds. I think they're both in. And that's why I say, when you say, oh, he's a hater, I'm like, it's hard for me to say that. He's in a whole different world. You know what I mean? And that's just how I think. Look at it.
I'll conclude with this, right? I'll say this. I think, like I said, to your point, I do see like where Lupe probably has a broader perspective, but I think still like his perspective is still mostly black. Like Little Weapons
I
is
agree. I agree.
Little Weapons is definitely a song that but once again, go listen to a song like The Game off that same album. That game's from a black perspective. Dumb It Down's from a black perspective. I said The Cool already off that album. I'm not gonna remember every album, but for the most part, it's The Cool's a part 2 to Food and Liquor, which is still all from a black perspective, and that's why you kind of have to listen to both those albums to really get some of the nuance and like even the Easter eggs that's laid throughout that whole thing, because characters that he mentioned in Food and Liquor are brought up in The Cool. But to your point, where I do say like his perspective is broadened. Did you hear Drago's Wave from Lupe?
Yes.
Okay, so like that's your point about the broadening perspective. Like Lupe has a song called is it Drago's? I think it's another self-titled song where he's talking about my bones is with the bleachers, right? And he's talking about the slaves who chose to jump off the boat, and their bones are now at, the sand that's in the bottom of the ocean. And these slave spirits are, like you said, like walking on water, like Jesus Christ, trying to follow back to their homeland, trying to get back home. And that's like to your point about the broadening of a perspective, but still from that same thing, because he breaks down like that whole album is essentially about like the transatlantic.
Yo, bro, you telling me? You tell me this, and honestly, bro. When I was in school, I read this book about a black guy's perspective in the 1800s, and it really like threw me off, bro. Listen, niggas is not trying to sit here and be like, my dream is to be the perfect person out of the hood.
Right.
Bro, Lupe made this song, I want to wake up in Paris, some in Tokyo. Like, I want my perspective.
Paris, London, Tokyo.
When I read that book, the black person's perspective was more, hey, I want to go read these books. I want to go here because I got to go do this. The black person's perspective, being stuck in the hood and being able to go through it, is yes, because we got a lot of people going through it. But there's a lot of people in the hood that think more like Lupe.
Yeah, 100%.
You get what I'm saying?
100%. But what I'm saying is, I think both those dudes both think alike. Like, I think both those people are trying to liberate and undo a lot of the stigmas that came along with slavery and white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? I think, like, to your point, they do them in different ways, but the objective is the same. And that's what I'm saying, the fabric. Like, you can have a blue fabric and a red fabric, but when you look at the stitching or the design patterns, you can see the DNA being in both of them that are more similar than like. Last thing, just to end, why I'm saying is that why it comes off as a hater is there's no complimentary to it. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that was your preference, but if for me, if like, this is quick sports example, and then we're gonna switch topic. Like, if LeBron and Kobe, who are both recognized as being like two of the greatest of their times, if they were just to be like one day, hey, you know what? Kobe was like, you know what? Grant Hill was better than LeBron. You'd be like, Kobe, that's kind of hate. Like, Grant Hill? That's kind of hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that we're not talking about, but you just saying that. That's a little bit of hater undertone of LeBron. Just like, yeah, you know what? T-Mac was better than Kobe. You'd be like, LeBron, that's kind of hate. Versus like if they're saying like, yo, this is one of the greats of the time. One of my favorite players is Grant Hill. That's a little bit different. But you know who's an undeniable hater? Young Thug. Bro. I'm trying to understand, right?
Tell me, well, first things first. Let me hear a little bit of what you're talking about, because do you have a clip or something that you can play
I can get a better
perspective of what you're talking about?
Do I?
Because I didn't hear anything that's going on, and I'm trying to hear.
I'm gonna cue up a little something right here.
Okay.
Let me cue up a little something for the people to hear. Just waiting for this to connect. Well, I'm sorry, people. Yeah, while this is connecting, Young Thug has had leaked call after leaked call after leaked call for the last maybe 10 days, where he's talking about a bunch of things. But I mean, just to play you one clip.
Why? These niggas too big. I don't want to do no feature. Why? Why you don't do no feature? Why wouldn't you want to do a feature for a superstar? Like you ain't like goddamn Street call you for a song. You know, like yeah. You really got Lil Durk call you for a song. Lil Baby, Dog, real superstar call you for a song. Why wouldn't you do the song? We lit. We going number 1, 2. Fuck is you thinking? You know, it's just like I don't be understanding that type of shit. Supposed to be a nigga who bless a nigga. That's why them niggas will never be bigger than Drake ever in life. Niggas will never be bigger than Bless. Bless don't do it right. Bless fuck with everybody. You know how many niggas like Drake change? How many niggas say they got me because of Bless?
I'm gonna stop right there, man. That is Young Thug reacting to Kendrick Lamar not giving him a feature for an album.
Yeah, bro. So honestly, you know, it sounds like he was talking basically business, and he wanted to probably. Sounds like also like he was trying to get business done, and within that, he had his opinion about Kendrick Lamar because he wanted to probably do business with him.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it just sounded like to me, and that was like a personal conversation, and you know what I mean. And it looks like whoever's trying to expose him or expose these conversations, if you said it was more. It seems like it's more of a narrative to really expose him and to try to like make the rap culture or the street culture look real dumb, you know. And it's like, and this is not the first time I've been seeing this, you know. And this is just a great example. Like they have leaked, like for instance, Diddy to Young Thug. Do I agree with the things? No, but it's less of a let's get them locked up, and it's more of a let's go ahead and embarrass the street culture and make the street culture look bad and all that stuff. Now, yeah, he said those things, but at the end of the day, bro, I'm really trying to figure out what is the bigger picture behind them leaking these, to trying to make these people look bad. Because it seemed like a high school thing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make this person look bad, and it seemed like whoever's doing it or how they doing it or whatever the case is, it's like a game, and it's like I'm really trying to figure out. And why are you guys doing this? Because it seems like y'all doing this to a lot of black men and a lot of black artists. And if they consider to be street or if they have that type of credibility, you love to make them look like the opposite of what people think they were. And I'm really trying to figure out what's going on.
All right. I'm gonna just on one point in time. All right. I'm gonna start with the Thug. You know, talking about Kendrick and the feature. Bro, you ever seen in life like when a girl denies a guy? And he was in her DM or he's out on the street and he was like, yo, short, I want it. And she just kind of curves him. And what do you see the response? Well, you ugly anyway. You stank ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Young Thug sound like to me. Like, he sound like he's butthurt about not getting a feature. To the point about why, I do have that similar, I always wonder, like, why now? Why this? But I think it's necessary.
Why is that?
I think because not just musically, but psychologically, people have been stuck. People have been caught up in the most superficial things life has to offer. They're more materialistic. They're more anti-intelligent. They're like, people are even less prone to believe a fact. Like, they don't even want to hear a fact and accept it as a fact. Young Thug's a microcosm of what's been happening for a while now. And we're talking about Lupe and Kendrick and how, you know, like we came to, like, we could safe to say both these two artists try to get whoever's listening to them to think at a higher level. Fair enough?
Yeah.
The music, for the better part, has not been that. The music has not just been redundant at this point.
Wait, you talking about Drake's music that just came out, or?
Oh, no. I'm just even speaking from Thug.
Okay.
Thug. So we can get to Drake's music.
No, we don't have to.
You already know what I'm saying.
I just thought that's what you was talking about.
No.
Okay, my fault, bro.
But even then,
I didn't know what was going on.
Even then, bro, this man is talking about features. Oh, why did you do a song with Lil Baby? Why don't you do a song with this? I mean, Kendrick does features for a lot of people.
Yeah.
He does features with people who he has a rapport with. And he does things based off the credibility of the music. If Kendrick don't think the song's gonna be good, he probably ain't gonna do it. If Kendrick don't like your music, he's not doing it just to do it. Niggas be thinking that the songs that play in clubs are the only music that exists. Like, that is the end-all be-all of what music is and can be. And it's such a detrimental thought process to music and to people in general. Because some of the greatest music that we hear, we hold dear, or that have like real cultural value, don't get played in the club. There's a reason why a song like Cry Together from the OJs resonates now the same way it did back when it came out. It's because that deep bond and that relationship always exists. And I'm gonna use that song as an example in a later topic that we have. But if every artist is like, I'm gonna work with Lil Baby, I'm gonna work with Dirk, I'm gonna work with Thug, and then I'm gonna work with Future, and then Thug's gonna work with Future, and then Dirk gonna work with Baby, and then Baby will work with Future. And then we've had that happen for the last 8 years, where it's the same roster. It's like all the songs start to sound alike.
Yo, bro, tell me this don't remind you. Don't this sound like a situation, for instance, when LeBron joined the Heat, he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, like all of them was like, yeah, Kobe, imagine if they was like, Kobe, come join, and Kobe's like, nah, I don't want to join. And they're like, hate niggas like that.
Yeah.
You ever want to join niggas to win championship? This nigga think he can do it by himself. Like,
Yeah.
hate niggas like that. Yo,
Yeah.
that shit sound just like that. Like,
Like the audacity to think that like Kendrick Lamar needs you. He bigger than all y'all.
yeah, he's bigger than Thug or whatever the case is. But honestly, bro, I personally, the only thing I would be like questioning is just the fact that probably Thug didn't respect the fact that that's what he truly wanted to do with his own music, and just saying like they don't have any ties. If he doesn't want to work with you, he doesn't want to work with you.
That's it.
He took it personal, so man.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many hip hop artists like Young Thug you think really respect the art form that is hip hop versus using just hip hop to further perpetuate whatever street life that they glorify?
Well, I mean, just going back to like music from even the 60s, bro. The art has always been changed to even have that type of less of art and more of sending a skewed message that probably we don't even understand the message that's probably coming across, from drinking to to sex, fighting, shooting people, killing people, and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So honestly, bro, I think that yes, Young Thug may be using it for that perspective, but it's not nothing different than, for instance, some of the gangster rapper before that, and the different things of that. And it was always used to draw perspective. And for instance, let's say we had somebody like NWA or even Public Enemy.
Okay.
Both of them had great perspectives that they were saying, or whatever the case is, But it was less about it being music and art, and it's now about more of a message and being more direct. And for instance, his message that Young Thug was speaking, it may be to us, we might be, oh, he just doing this, but there's certain code language that he was speaking to specific people.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
that meant something to specific people, or whatever the case is. And what we got from it, because we don't understand, is the stuff of materialistic things and things that we shouldn't be listening to, or things that, Pootie Tang. Anyway, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I just look at it from the fact of he's only doing it's like, for instance, as each generation goes,
Right.
it keeps going the same way. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? And that's just how I think about it. So I don't really blame him for it. I just think that's the way it is. Drake's doing it. Thug's doing it. Kendrick's great at. He's just great at his art. That's why you don't see him. He can do it, but he can more do it from a different perspective. It's
But
just,
what I would say is, right, is that, things are similar but not the same.
right.
It's like how you brought up NWA. People sometimes credit them as like the birth of like gangsta music in the West Coast, but the message was to show you everything that's happening in our environment, but then also layering songs with like Express Yourself or F the police, you know what I'm saying? And songs that were uplifting and maybe understanding like some of the gangster imagery is coming from like a place of like oppression and hurt, and now this is what it's evolved into. I'll give another example with Tupac and what Thug Life meant. A lot of people, if you don't know, Thug Life is an acronym, you know what I'm saying? Like the hate you gave infant babies, I'm messing it up, but it's an acronym. It's not just like, oh, I'm a thug and I'm living this life. It actually has a deeper meaning behind it, but if you don't care to look up what it is, then it could probably go over your head. My thing with Thug and artists like Thug is that they don't value like integrity.
But bro, think about this, bro. The music. Think about you compare Tupac's music and what he's saying to somebody in 1960. You get what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm trying to say. And then compare Tupac's music to Young Thug's music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the perspective? We just happen to be born in that stage where we feel like what he's saying actually speaks a little bit more to us or what we're going through, or be like, oh, it's more intellectual. But Young Thug to the young people is probably Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
No, but
wait, hold on. And I'm just saying that from perspective because it's like you can't really say, like, to me personally, I'll just be like, okay, is he using it to make money off of it? Yes, that's what rap is. If you don't like rap, then don't go listen to jazz. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my perspective on it.
Yeah, I mean, I like my thing with Thug is that, like I said, it's not just him because it's been happening across the music, bro. It's why we probably seen more rappers pass away now than ever before. The RIP list for rappers since 2014, 2015 has gotten extensive. The way the record sales have dropped is kind of jaw-dropping. The way that we perceive music and value music has dropped, and a lot of that comes from the artists cheapening the music themselves and not treating it as a valued piece of art. Where like you said, music from the 60s, it depends on which artist you're talking, because like I said, there's always been like BS music, you know what I'm saying? And I like good BS music. I'm a Gucci stan. Yeah, Gucci stan music wasn't about nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, compared to BS music. So for instance, at that time, and I don't know if I'm even getting the dates right, like Little Richard, like he was like Hootie Tootie getting something. Like he was saying that at that time they thought he was crazy. They was like, yo, this dude is, he's all what we don't want. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
At the time or whatever. Now compare what he's saying to what Young Thug's saying. You can be like, dang, Little Richard ain't saying nothing.
Well,
you get what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is the fact that even at that time, he was cheapening, and a lot of people, and this is what you got to, and you would understand this perspective too. If you want to go off of music being cheapened, they do it all the time to Christian music, and it's always been and Christian music it's been cheapened to the point that eventually it ended up into R&B, and then hip hop. You don't realize it's Christian music first as
like gospel
and stuff, and it's expand. Once it's past gospel, don't tell me anything about anybody cheapening music or making it look bad, because gospel was used first. How we speak, how we got our point across through gospel first, and then coming from Black Americans. That's how we, and then it's just sketched into everything. You get what I'm saying? So
okay, all right. To wrap up, because that's an interesting point with the gospel. I like understand. I'm not mad at the evolution of the music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to make sure like my point is a little bit more clear than that, because music evolves. Right. You know what I'm saying? And 1,000% you can trace hip hop back to the gospel and the origins of it. You know what I mean? Correct. That's why I always thought hip hop was so powerful, because of what it's rooted in Black American culture, and being the voice of the oppressed, you know what I'm saying? Because it's generational. That's why we're all linked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cheapening of the music isn't so much the subject matter or the sound. I'm more so speaking to a psyche. You know what I'm saying? I'm more so speaking to an approach with the music. I'm more so seeing like, and I remember off mic we were having this conversation about artists just not caring about the music that much. This is a vehicle for me to get lit. And if you treat it as such, it's going to be valued as such. It's just going to be a thing that I'm going to use, and it's not really, there's no integrity, love, or passion behind it. And me personally, take music outside of it, right? Just in life, I don't deal with people who aren't passionate about what they do. If I didn't think you can come up here and speak passionate, you and me could have had this podcast work the way it does. My chiropractor, shout out to Dr. Zev, one of the most passionate people I've seen about health, chiropractic health, what it means, versus I've been to other chiropractors that don't treat it that way.
They don't crack your back like he do.
No. Hey, yo.
Pause.
Hey,
Yo, time you say, I was like, damn, bro.
But it's true. I ain't gonna lie to you. he got gifted hands, bro.
Yo.
It's true. But I'm being dead at, bro. Because it's a lot of chiropractors you'll go to, bro. They'll charge you $75 to put a hot towel on your back with some rocks.
Oh my, yeah, that's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it don't matter to them if you walk out feeling good or if the nerves are actually breathing, or if they actually give you like a real deep adjustment. They got their bread and you out. You might be out.
What was his name again?
Dr. Zeb.
Shout out Dr. Zeb. You got
you
give him sponsorship, man. Right here. He over here advertising.
That's my guy,
Shout out Dr.
bro.
Zeb.
That's my guy. Dr. Zeb is the
back cracks for fact. Fact.
Hey, last episode you said I can't rap. You like you about to try to drop a freestyle. You over here listening to too much Lupe.
If you ever hear me drop a bar, slap me. You know what I'm saying? No bars over here.
Did you ever try to rap like for real? You ever actually wrote like a rap?
Yo, I was in high school one time, bro. I was with a couple of my friends, and I started. They was like, yeah, Antoine, let me hear you rap. And I sounded like a hip hop, hip it. I was like, yeah, I don't think I should rap anymore.
You was with your pops.
Listening
to the man, Kumo G.
I started rapping like my pop.
What would they call the best storytelling hip hop? I'm having a brain fart.
Slick Rick?
Slick Rick. You was listening to Mad Slick Rick.
Dead ass, I listen to Mad Slick Rick. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got me. Okay, let's get it. When I'm in Florida, when I got money, cash, and I got dope. What you want to do, my nigga? We got to do that. So I was doing all that. It was like, yo, bro.
Man.
Yeah, you're not.
Hey, you can't be mad. Hey, shout out to those legends. But that's kind of like what I mean. See how that, like, you know, it's just about how you value the music, how you approach the music, bro. It's more so about like a mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I saw from the clips this year speaks to what I'm talking about. Like, people who value the music as a art. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so let me ask you this question. Do you think it's the artists that are not valuing their work, or do you think it's more of the business, like the label owners and stuff like that, or the people they work for? You know, the people that are pushing them to do more. Like, hey, listen, give me an album every 6 months, 3 months. Like, they got a time frame.
I think it's 50-50. I think the label looked at where we are right now with specifically hip hop and how it's been watered down to a point where it's like, okay, you're popping, you know, you have this many followers, you know, you have this much engagements, and, you know, they start playing an analytic thing. Same thing like in basketball, where it's like, you know, for the players, it's like, well, we don't really care about post and mid-range. We don't care about the art of basketball or like the actual skill set that comes with being a 3-level scorer. We know that layups and threes does this, and if you do this amount of times, so you just have a game where you turn on the TV.
Are they cheapening basketball by doing that?
For sure. Sure. Which is why some people might argue why the ratings were down last year. That was a big topic of discussion. It's like, why are the ratings down? Why is the All-Star game down? Well, the All-Star...
The ratings is down because you can't find no way to watch a game.
That's also true. That is also true. But then look at the All-Star game. Bro, like, once again, mentality. So we're going to draw a sports comparison, bro. You and I grew up in an era where the All-Star game was an event. As a kid, you'd be like, yo, I'm going to see... You know, Jason Kidd and Allen Iverson on the same team. We're going to see Kevin Garnett and Tim. It was like a mixed match, and these guys went out there with the intention of hooping and putting on a show. Now, the new generation players could care less.
Bro, See, this is the thing. I don't think you listen to Gilbert Arenas. You must not have listened to Gilbert Arenas.
What Gil talking about,
He
man?
told us that in the 80s they were on coke. And he said that the people now on weed. So the people right now don't care, and the people before cared too much. There we go, bro. We solved the problem. I'm telling you.
What's even they put down the weed?
Hey, man, because you just said it. You said, hey, listen, the people now, it seems like they don't care. Now, they actually thought about it, and it was like, why am I going to keep doing this when I could just do this? And the people before was like, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to do this. Why am I shooting a three out there? I could just go through somebody's body.
You know, I'll be honest. I mean, Gil might have been wrong. It was more so the 70s. The 70s definitely had a lot of drug problems. Definitely had a lot of drug problems in the 70s. And some of that did leak into the 80s. But like I said, every generation is not going to be perfect. Like, I'm not sitting here like there's a perfect generation. I'm just saying, like, you know, what we've been losing. Like, we're losing some recipes, dog. Losing too many recipes, man. Like, not enough tradition is being passed down. Instead of tradition being passed down and having, like, a bar to be held to, it's far too many just, like, half-ass, I don't really care about this. This is not important. This is how the young people do it, and the young people don't have no passion. Bro, that's why, bro, let me tell you something, man. This is a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a... That is why they're charging $2 for air to put in your tire now, bro.
Wawa.
You get what I'm saying? It's air. You know what I'm saying?
Go to Wawa.
But it's like people are just milking every aspect of life with no integrity.
Find a Wawa.
You know. But
Wawa gets free air in the tires.
Some shows do, but hey, you know.
No, Wawa, that's gas station gets free.
It's hard to find a Wawa, man. It's not too many of them in South Florida.
Oh, that's okay.
It's like there's a few, but depending on where you live, you might have to go out your way to find a Wawa, to be fair. And I don't even know if Wawa, like, I be hearing Wawa got good sandwiches. I don't know if the sandwiches and the coffee is that good to go out my way.
Nah, bro, just the free air in the tires.
Air in the tire? All right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. You know, while we're talking about $2 for to put air in your tire, I think a lot of us have been feeling like the shift in the economy and understanding that, like, your buying power is not what it was. Inflation. I keep up a lot with CNBC, and just this past Friday, a jobs number was released, and I just want to play a quick clip that was very interesting to me. And mind you, this is the first time I'm hearing this from, like, a mainstream source, but a lot of black content creators and news reporters have been talking about this for the better part of, like, 2 months, you know? But let's just get a quick...
Another ratio that Fed officials are going to watch more because of the uncertainty about what the right payroll break-even rate is also was steady. The increase in the unemployment rate looks to be, and I want to get some hate mail here because I'm sure I will, it looks like it's specifically very concentrated in African-American areas, and that's been an issue, and it's especially African-American women. Relative to white women, which has been very steady, up a tick, about 0.3 on the African-American unemployment rate. It's something we want to watch carefully. It could be an effect of federal government layoffs. We know there's some concentration there, but also it's one of those things where sometimes it's the last in, first out situation where they benefited from a strong job market before and they were the last hired. They may be the first out. It's something to watch. It's an issue that may be worth some discussion at some point.
Yeah, that was Steve Leisman of CNBC giving a breakdown on the jobs number and having an uptick in unemployment. The unemployment percentage, I think, went from 4.1 to 4.3, and how concentrated that was in the African-American community, but especially black women. And it just got me thinking about a lot of things. And we talk about community a lot up here. And I think this is a calling card for black men to really step up and support our sisters. And, you know, I mean, I'm not just talking about the women you think are fine and you want to sleep with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about, you know, satisfying your ego, but understanding like how to treat and appreciate black women because they're under attack, bro. They're often our first defenders and are often like the least appreciated. Like you hear a lot of sentiment about how black women sometimes don't feel supported publicly by black men. And for us, I know you and I feel passionate about this, and we want to be one of those public voices that, you know, pour love and care into our sisters. And when you see a number like that and it being so concentrated, it makes you say, you know, that's more reason for us to come together. That's more reason for us to undo these negative talking points or these negative thinking points where, you know, you might have heard like, oh, well, you know, black women are like this, or they're not submissive, or this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you know, even if you want to say that's true, like the whole submissive talking point or where the case may be, let's take a step back and look at ourselves in the mirror first and ask, have we been worthy of being like being submissive to? Have we stepped up and provided the way we were supposed to? You know, a lot of us come from single mother homes. A lot of us come from situations where we may not have seen the most stable of relationships. We might have seen a lot of contention between our parents in the household, or we might have seen dad step out of the relationship and have kids with multiple women and not really be a factor the way he should be in the house. And all that we've done, black women have become like the de facto janitor to our mess. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So we, as men, got to take the mop out her hand and start cleaning up our own mess because we created it. And, you know, you and I love Tupac. What Tupac say, you know, you gotta teach men how to love our women, be real to our women. Because if you don't, you'll have a race of babies, they'll mate the babies and hate the ladies. And so why we're here largely now. Right. So we're just using this as a calling card for us to elevate ourselves, to be held accountable, to preach a different message. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a lot of online arguing, and sometimes that leaks into real life. Like, I don't like seeing when the online nonsense leaks into like real life psychology, because now we're letting the internet dictate how we treat and move in real life. And we're not thinking, we're not cleansing our brains of like, who cares about 50-50? You know, community, everybody gives a little, everything gets done. You know, who cares if there's just all these stupid gender war talking points and all these stupid think pieces don't matter. Come together, attack the problem, not the person. Yeah. You know, some of us might have, you know, different baggages. We all don't come from the same backgrounds, the same financial stability, the same mental stability, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if we all approach each other with empathy and a want to help and a want to help each other heal, that's why I brought up We Cry Together, Cry Together by the OJs. It's a song about healing. Yeah. It's a song about, hey, we can share each other's pain and overcome it together. Yeah. And that's just what I want to kind of lead into and have a talking point about.
Yeah, bro, like, you know, I, you know, do agree with what you said. It's very important for us to be very supportive of our black women. That statistic there, it's very interesting. You know, I question a lot. I question, you know, what are black women doing for that at this point for that percentage to be changed. Also, why are they highlighting it so much? So those are the questions I do have. But to go off of some of the points you did go off of, you're right. You know, I mean, if this is a time where a lot of black women are becoming unemployed, as black men, we could definitely step up, create situations where we can be a little bit more involved in the process with helping them get to those situations that they need to be in. Yes, the job market is very hard right now, not for just women, but also for men. But overall we see how it's affecting a certain demographic the most. And if we can be a little bit more attentive to those particular situations, we can definitely help our Black women. Now, honestly, I do think there's a shift going on. Besides, like, there's a big shift going on. I feel like there's a lot of rules and regulations that's being changed. And I do feel like the Black women are like the Black women being unemployed are kind of the result of it. But I do think there's a great ending to that story eventually. I personally think, based off the the statistics and things like that, that when there is going to be more job openings, or there's going to be more of an opening for people to get jobs, and Black women are probably going to be the first, just like he said, probably the first in. I mean the last in and the first out. I think that the Black women are going to be more of the first in, and also too, they're saying a lot of people are staying at their jobs a little bit longer because of these unemployment rates. Right. So I feel like you're going to see a lot of Black women stay in some of their jobs. And like you were saying before, I mean, it's really, really hard to say right now that I look at Black women any differently than them being superior leaders in the form that they are in. Just because I don't see, I see a lot of Black women that are powerful right now. So I don't think the power is being taken away from Black women and them being able to do the things that they are able to do. But I do think it's a shift, a little underlining shift that of course, we need to be attentive to. But I think that with the, how Black women are with overcoming things, especially dealing with our bull crap, it's going to be it's a shift right now, but it's going to be another shift where they're going to probably be better than they were before. And it's only evident based off of the past and them overcoming things from before. And so I just think at this time, be supportive. But also, I feel like for men, we need to be great leaders.
Facts.
And when that comes into play, is setting the example. Like, women have their own things they want to do. They're individuals just like us, and maybe may not be work right now, but they do a whole bunch of things that may contribute to what equals out to work. And if they do those things and you hold it down, you be a leader, you show them an example, they're gonna get that job. They're gonna work. They're gonna want to do the things that they need to do because they're gonna see a great leader beside them doing something great. So you be a leader. You show them, and there's certain situations that women are great leaders for men, and they can show us how to, but maybe it may just be our time to lead them, to help them out. And then when those times reverse or things happen, because think about it, we had times where Black men couldn't be in the house because the government say, I ain't getting no money if they're not now. You know what I mean? So Black women, in order for them to get money, had to take the leadership role, but doing all the paperwork, doing all those different things, dealing with social workers and things like that. It happens, it trades off and the shifts happen. And like you said, Steph, just, credit to what you said, we just have to be there for each other.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, bro. And like I said, I know one thing for us as Black people, bro, we overcome a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you brought up a good point about like why is this happening, like a shift, coming out of the pandemic, a lot of the hybrid or / work at home jobs are getting taken away. I know that's affected like a lot of single mothers who were able to do more with the kids and maybe don't have the same support system around them. That's been taken away from them, and it's now you're going out into the job market. Not only is it going to be a struggle to like adjust your schedule and how you are able to take care of your family, but it's going to be a struggle just finding a new job. You know what I mean? That's one aspect of it. But two, some of these things lend into like what companies are doing with tariffs and where they're going to start cutting people to avoid their margins getting hit. It's always people first, you know what I mean? And unfortunately for us, we're like the first of the first, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna get rid of us first. We're gonna be looked at as like the expendable thing to cut and to move. And I don't have the article with me now, and there's something that I want to delve deeper into after I do some more research, because you're hearing reports about like, we had this new AI craze, and you're hearing about how a lot of these companies are using discriminatory practices with their AI and their hiring applications. They're filtering these online applications through AI, and it has racist ways. So is this something for us to be conscious about and knowing that, like, hey, if there's an attack on our sisters, it's an attack on us. We're never going to love ourselves if we don't love our women.
So let me ask you this, right? If they're saying something's being, AI can probably like sort things out with race and probably pick out all these type of people it is. You know, I mean, remember you're putting these things on the application, so it's really up to you to decipher between.
Oh yeah. No,
how you want to be seen by a company from the. Seriously, I'm just being honest with you.
You gotta lie.
Listen,
you gotta lie a little bit. You gotta take
saying,
your photo off LinkedIn and all that.
No. What I'm saying is basically like you take a deeper perspective, look at what you're going through, look at everything around you. It asks you what's your sex. Take a look at that. Look at your situation around you, and then you answer that question. They ask you about your race. Take a deeper look at your situation, and then you figure it out. Then you answer that question. Every question that they ask you to size you up, to figure out who you are. You take a deeper look. You do not have to answer all of these questions. There's some of these questions are optional. Take a deeper look at the applications you're looking at, and take a deeper look at what you're answering on those applications. You do not have to answer certain questions. You can leave those questions up to them, having to ask you face to face once they have 5 people that they feel like who wants to get the job. And then that thing doesn't come into play.
Right.
Sometimes people at these jobs don't even know there's AI systems in place to do things like that. Right. So when those AI systems come into play and they're left with the person that they have to deal with as far as interviewing them, that interview with that person can really be, oh wow, you're you know what I mean? So don't play the system and let the system play you. That's all I gotta say.
No, that's 100%, bro. That's 100%, and I agree on all fronts. And just to wrap up with this, that's where like supporting Black businesses are going to be even more important, because we need those businesses, and we need more of those businesses to have doors open, or to be able to open the door so that we don't have to rely on outside sources to help us get a foot in the door, bro. Because no one in life does anything by themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we all need help from somewhere. And if we don't learn to help each other, then we can't expect the world to take care of us. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So, listen, I think this was a great episode, man, bro. I appreciate, as always, coming in here with me. You know what I mean? I feel like we delivered on some great topics, bro. And is there anything you want to say in closing?
Listen, y'all. Listen, man. You got great things coming. Listen, like, comment, subscribe. Please listen. We got some more things coming in the future. Some great topics, but also just some great things that we feel like you guys
better editing.
Like. Better editing,
better thumbnails,
but just better topics. But
better
just
topics.
And if you guys comment and you feel like there's something that you want to hear or you want to see us do, let us know. We're here for you. So
facts.
Thank you guys again.
We're reading them comments. Thank you guys. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.